Hey everyone, Mac is back, and today I had a request, or I should say previously I had a request about what type of, how do you assemble your buildings basically in your castle. So essentially, how do you progress with your buildings inside the castle? So it's all these other buildings that are not resource related, and how do you configure the ones that are resource related, because there's some different thoughts about how to do it, and there's, depending on how your castle is and how you have it planned out, or you want to plan it out, there's different ways you can go about it, and I'll just give you my opinion of why I think you should do it a certain way, or a specific way that I kind of did it as I went through. It may not be the perfect way for you based on what your goals are. So let's get to it. So I decided to move over to my Hoff account, and the reason I did that is because it is in more a premature, or I guess, yeah, premature stage, I guess, so to speak. And as you can see here, the very first thing you want to do, especially in your own account, is to get your castle to level 25. And the reason you want to do that is because of what you get from that 25. You're going to get the upgrade to a army size of 200,000. You're going to get that defense commanders of total up to 5, your deployment up to 5, and your help up to 30. So, and in order to do that, you have to have your certain buildings to be to level 24, and the wall defense will be one of them. So that has to be up to 24 just on its own to be able to do that. Some of the other buildings are the ones outside here. So you have to have a lumberyard to 25, you have to have a quarry to 25, and I believe maybe one other ones are to 24, 25 as well. But it'll tell you exactly which ones that you'll need to progress to be able to do so. So for instance, if I click on the embassy right here, if I want to get it to level 14, they asked about, what else do you have to do for that, and it doesn't say anything. But like the Bannerman Hall, it requires the embassy to be level 11, which you can see the check mark there tells you that it already is. Now, something that you're going to want to do after you've had this castle to 25 is upgrade some of these other buildings as well. Some of the buildings you can just upgrade and just follow whatever it tells you that you can do. Like the Maester's Tower, you'll already have that at 24 before anything else, and you see the barracks is 24. So the other ones you'll have to get to 24 before you can get the castle to 25. But once these other you want to work on these other ones in here. Some of them you have to purchase these little, like this one's a battle codex for the Bannerman Hall. You have to purchase those, and they're not cheap either. So you can see here, there's no other place to get them other than like I believe the Alliance Mobilization rewards that you can get there. But you have to spend diamonds on them, so that's why you have to save diamonds. It's a lot of blue diamonds to be able to get your to get those tier 4s, which eventually will come in game though. So the market, you have none of those, but to get these to 25, so you can see here, once you get them to level 24, you have to buy this Craftsman Hammer, and my recommendation here is to get it at the VIP shop because it's cheaper in there than trying to pay the full price here. It's 2,000 here, and I believe it's about 1,500 in the VIP shop. So buy one of those when you need it, and then upgrade your building. Buy another one because you can only get one a day. Get ready for the next one which you need to do. The dungeon is very similar to. See, there you go. I can't even click on the Hall of Faces here because it needs level 17 of my dungeon, which only is at level 6. And you're going to need these Book of Confession to be able to upgrade, this dungeon, as well as the Hall of Faces as well. So looking here, you can see how much they cost. They're cheap to start, but eventually they'll start getting more expensive, especially when they cost thousands upon thousands of these little shackle things. So looks like they changed it. Book of Confession, shackles. I don't know what maybe they messed that up. They're called Book of Confession, but they're actually not. So I'm not really sure what's happening there with that. But so that's basically what you're going to want to do inside your castle, because once you get those all to 25, then you can get this Maester's Tower to 25. Because you can see right here, this shows you everything that you need to have at level 25 before you can upgrade this Maester's Tower to 25. So you'll have to get every single one of these to 25 first before you can get to that Maester's Tower, and you need the Maester's Tower to 25 if you're going to be in order to get those tier 4, unlock those tier 4 troops. So from the very beginning, that's what you're going to need to do. And now a quick look at the outside buildings, which are going to be your resource buildings, so you can build up, for your quarries, your mine, your lumbers, and then your farmlands if you want some grain as well. And then the other ones that you're going to get are going to be, as you can see, I can even do some of these for free. but are going to be the mints and the hospitals. Those are the two that you're really going to want. Don't worry about the army tents where you get extra troops from, because you really don't need that. You're not trying to really push hard for troops. My recommendation for the amount that you want to have, because as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the total of 16 of these. And what I would do is I would keep up with your army size. So whatever your army size is, say your army size here is 200,000, then make sure you have 200,000 hospitals to be able to fill. And then if they get attacked, they'll be able to fill. Because when you're first starting out, there's going to be some players that really spend a lot of money on the game and that want to attack you constantly, and you may not be able to defend yourself all the time. So to be able to kind of avoid that situation, or if you don't have your bubble down, or your bubble goes down for whatever reason, then all your troops go to the hospital, you don't lose any, and you keep all your troops. So I would do that to a certain point. You're going to need gold, so if you click on a mint, you can see here that you get training speed. If you click on the question mark, once it's at level 25, you actually get a 2% extra attack. But generally you get a gold dragon production, your limit goes up, and you get to training speed. So that's basically what you're going to want to do. Is to have these, and as you can see the training speed 20% is pretty significant. But like I said, you're not going to be able to you're not going to use this the 20% too heavily at the beginning of the game. So at the beginning of the game, it's more for this gold production, because gold is very scarce at the beginning of the game. You're going to need a lot of gold. So you're going to need to save that gold, protect that gold, and that's what these mints are going to be for. So that's why you're going to want to have a decent amount of mints at the beginning of the game, because you need that gold production. Now when it comes to the other resources out here, that's going to be totally up to you. You can create your own hyper farm, and what I mean by that is put all lumbers, or put every single one of them quarries, or put them all mines or farmlands, however you want to do it. But just have every single one of those buildings that you can here, because you can see there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 buildings that you could do at a full max. So at doing those and having that all together could be really significant to help out. And one little key on that too is if you're really close with some of your alliance mates, you could have every single one of you could have, like, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 these buildings here, all of them. So you could have for instance, you could go completely quarry, one of your alliance mates could go completely lumber, and then whenever one of you needs lumber or iron, then I'm sorry, stone, then you trade. You just send a transport to each other, and you trade what you need. So whenever you can start your next research or building. So everybody's basically a hyper farm in your end, and I think that's a really good way, especially early on, to be able to do that. You get a little bit later in the game, I would suggest going all farmlands, and the reason that I say that is because if you have all farmlands, then you can see up here that the total grain items, that the hourly production is what we're looking at, and the hourly upkeep. So as long as that hourly production is above the hourly upkeep, then you're going to be able to maintain that grain, which is a lot of times you can't do that because your troops eat it all. They eat too much of that grain. So to be able to accomplish that, what you're going to need to do is make all those farmlands, which is as many as you can in there, and then also get Sheila to 4 stars, because Sheila at 4 stars, when she is awakened, went to the wrong spot, and she has that ability, which I can't even go to here. Actually, I'll go to here with my other account. And so as you can see here, the consumption rate is reduced by 50%. So when that consumption rate is reduced by 50%, that actually gives your account half a reduction, half off for the amount of food that the amount of grain that your troops are going to be eating. So that's why you want to get her to 4 stars, especially for a free-to-play account. And on top of that, you'll want to do the grain ration 25%, so it reduces the army upkeep by 25% for 24 hours. And these are pretty easy to come by as well. It actually is, it's just really, really nice to have this if you want to try to keep that grain in there. So if I say reduction 25%, you can check up here, and it was at, it was already at a little over 2,000, and now it's down to 1,900. So that's also something you want to activate. And then the other thing you want to activate is the grain production. So you add another 25% on top of that. So that's another one. If you look again, I'm up to 44,000 hourly. So it's adding more of that on there too. And see, these you can actually use your alliance coins if you really wanted to purchase these or use these, but you really don't have to. They come by pretty easy once you start playing the game quite significantly. You get them in the down here in these challenge quests. A lot of times you can see right here, grain ration 25%. You get a bunch of those. So really don't have to worry about that too much. And finally, the what you want to do more towards the mid game, I guess, is once you have all your buildings here to 25, you've have tier 4 research and you have your tier 4s out. You've manipulated your your mints and your hospitals to where you want them to. Just a quick note on that is once you get to that mid game, I would stop around that like maybe 500 to 600,000 hospital capacity. Because you really don't need it at some point. Your troops are just going to die. It's just the way it is. They're eventually going to die at some point. So when you start fighting, of course. So, but it's nice to have that, about a 500,000-ish, kind of thing. And you could go lower if you want to be a little more risky. Put it down to like 400 to 450,000. That's fine. If you like a little bit more, because if you're looking at these, you look at these mints. If you have them up there, if you have enough of them, that's a 2% more attack on there, plus 20%. Training speed, so it's easier for you to be able to train more troops too. So it just depends on where you want to do in the game. For my personal account, I think my hospital capacity is like 560, 570,000. So that's what I like personally. You can do that if you'd like, totally up to you. But then at the very end, middle of the game, kind of later game, your glory levels where you're going to be looking at. So when it comes to the castle, that's the very first one you're going to upgrade. I actually have a video about this, about which ones you want to start with, which ones you want to go with. Very quickly, the glory level here, castle, the reason you want that is because you're going to get another 100,000 of that army size and another 20 of those talent points, where if the normal one here, you can see you're going to get the 200,000, which is quite significant. So that's kind of where you are with the buildings. Very, very simplistic. If you have any more specific questions, feel free to send me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But till next time, Mac out.